Throughout Hollywood's golden age, one woman stood apart as the undisputed monarch of comedy, Lucille Ball. Her gift for making audiences roar with laughter seemed limitless. Yet as her remarkable journey neared its conclusion, something shifted. The infectious joy that defined her career gave way to quietness, unspoken pain, and one extraordinary moment that pulled back the curtain on everything she'd concealed for so long. Her last on-camera conversation wasn't conducted by the vibrant, flame-haired performer millions adored. Instead, viewers encountered someone fundamentally transformed, a soul burdened by decades of triumph mixed with devastating loss. Someone who felt increasingly abandoned by an industry she'd helped revolutionize. Her words during that emotional exchange moved everyone present to tears, and the impact rippled outward to countless viewers. If you're fascinated by the real stories behind Hollywood's most iconic figures, you'll want to stick around. And consider hitting that like button and subscribing so you never miss these incredible untold histories. The year was 1989, and though Lucille Ball's reputation remained untouchable, her daily existence told a starkly different story. This entertainer who'd once captivated over 44 million Americans during primetime broadcasts now spent her days in profound solitude. The sprawling Beverly Hills estate that had previously buzzed with celebration and companionship felt increasingly empty and unwelcoming. Time had claimed most of her longtime confidants. Her two children, Lucille Arnaz and Desi Arnaz Jr., maintained their own lives at a distance, their visits becoming increasingly infrequent. While Gary Morton, her second spouse, remained a constant presence, he frequently mentioned the persistent melancholy that permeated their home, the type of profound sadness that no amount of wealth or recognition could lift. The nation had crowned her their beloved sweetheart, a living embodiment of happiness itself. Behind those closed mansion doors, however, haunting memories refused to fade. The 1986 cancellation of Life with Lucy had shattered something essential within her. She'd emerged from retirement with hopes of proving her comedic genius remained intact. Instead, the program barely lasted 2 months, just 8 episodes before network executives pulled the plug. For someone whose entire career had been defined by making people laugh, this rejection cut impossibly deep. Audiences simply didn't respond, and critics published brutal assessments. Those close to her revealed that she'd spent sleepless nights poring over negative reviews, tormented by doubts about whether her special magic had permanently vanished. This wasn't merely professional disappointment, it represented something far more painful. The realization that time marches forward relentlessly and Hollywood possesses a notoriously short memory even for its royalty. The very comedians who'd studied her techniques and built their careers following her blueprint now dominated the airwaves, yet few bothered to reach out. This groundbreaking pioneer who'd shattered countless barriers for women in entertainment found herself watching old I Love Lucy episodes alone in her living room. Occasionally she'd chuckle softly at her younger self's antics, then quietly brush away tears. Her physical condition was deteriorating as well. Decades of cigarette smoking had ravaged her lungs, and by 1988, serious cardiac problems emerged. Yet she adamantly refused to acknowledge her declining health. "I'm perfectly fine," she'd stubbornly insist to medical staff, even when simple tasks like walking to her kitchen became exhausting challenges. Friends who encouraged her to take things easier received a characteristic response: "Stopping isn't something I know how to do." That fierce determination had constructed her legendary career. Now, tragically, it was all that remained. Lucille Desiree Ball entered the world on August 6, 1911, in the modest upstate community of Jamestown, New York. This small-town girl seemed an unlikely candidate for Hollywood domination, and her formative years contained little happiness. When barely 3 years old, catastrophe struck. Her father, Henry Ball, worked as a telephone lineman, dangerous work in any era. He contracted typhoid fever, and during his illness's final weeks, continued climbing utility poles through snowstorms, desperately attempting to untangle storm-damaged cables. His condition rapidly worsened. On February 28, 1915, Henry died at just 27 years old. Lucille carried specific images from that devastating day throughout her entire life. She recalled her mother's anguished sobbing, a framed picture inexplicably falling from their wall, and, most disturbingly, a small bird somehow trapped indoors. That avian image became a source of lifelong terror for her. Not just actual birds, but photographs, patterns, anything remotely resembling them. Later associates recalled her absolute refusal to stay in hotel accommodations featuring bird-themed wallpaper. For Lucy, this wasn't mere superstition, it was unprocessed grief that never released its grip. Her mother, Dee, found herself young, overwhelmed, and pregnant with Lucille's younger brother, Fred. Economic survival required desperate measures, so she placed Lucille with various relatives while attempting to reconstruct their shattered lives. Lucy grew up feeling perpetually displaced, like a temporary guest rather than a cherished family member. When her mother remarried, this time to Ed Peterson, the situation didn't improve. His parents enforced strict, cold household rules, including banning mirrors to prevent childhood vanity. Lucy later reflected that those difficult years taught her fundamental acting skills, how to convincingly pretend everything was fine when internally falling apart. Then another tragedy fundamentally altered everything. At 12 years old, Lucy witnessed her stepfather establishing a backyard target shooting area. He took precautions, but accidents happen. One day, a neighboring child was accidentally shot. The bullet struck his spine, leaving him permanently paralyzed. The boy's family pursued legal action and won their case. The Balls lost absolutely everything: their home, furniture, even their insurance coverage. Her grandfather, consumed by overwhelming guilt, never worked another day. She later stated, "One single accident completely destroyed us."
By her late 20s, Lucille Ball had experienced considerably more rejection than success. Her theatrical dreams began in New York City but were brutally crushed early when instructors at the prestigious John Murray Anderson School for the Dramatic Arts declared her talentless. One teacher actually contacted her mother, advising her to stop wasting money on lessons for someone without potential. Years afterward, Lucy identified that humiliation as the pivotal moment that forged her toughness. "The only thing I learned there," she once observed, "was fear itself." But quitting wasn't in her nature. She returned to New York in 1928, took modeling assignments to stay afloat, and eventually headed west toward Hollywood. Throughout the 1930s, studios knew her as the Queen of B-movies. She appeared in over 75 films, typically cast as chorus girls, supporting players, or women who never captured the spotlight. Nevertheless, she absorbed lessons constantly. Every film set taught her about comedic timing, physical presence, and camera awareness. The lens adored her, even when the industry overlooked her talent. Everything changed in 1940. During production of Too Many Girls, she encountered a young Cuban bandleader named Desi Arnaz. He radiated confidence, charm, and unpredictability. They met on set, shared dances during production breaks, and within months eloped to Connecticut. Everyone predicted disaster. In many respects, they were correct. Desi drank excessively, kept late hours, and couldn't remain faithful. Lucy, who'd spent her existence craving stability, found herself trapped in constant chaos. Yet she loved him profoundly, and believed working together might save their relationship. That conviction gave birth to I Love Lucy. Building an empire while breaking apart. When CBS proposed adapting Lucy's radio program, My Favorite Husband, for television in 1951, she made one non-negotiable demand: Desi must play her on-screen husband. Network executives resisted, claiming American audiences wouldn't accept an interracial marriage on their screens. Lucy absolutely refused to compromise. To prove the network wrong, she and Desi created a live vaudeville touring show. Their undeniable chemistry convinced CBS to relent. The program became a cultural phenomenon. Every Monday evening, the entire nation paused to watch Lucy and Ricky Ricardo's adventures. At its absolute peak, I Love Lucy attracted 44 million viewers, exceeding even presidential address audiences. Lucy's comedic brilliance, her willingness to look ridiculous for laughs, and her impeccable timing transformed her into television comedy's defining face. Behind that laughter, however, her marriage crumbled steadily. Desi's infidelities continued relentlessly, breaking Lucy's heart incrementally with each rumor she attempted to ignore. When cameras rolled, they portrayed America's ideal couple. When filming ended, she wept in solitude. Being married to Desi Arnaz wasn't easy, she later confessed. It always came down to the same thing: alcohol and other women. Yet she stayed, hoping love could outlast fame's pressures. Temporarily, it did. But when I Love Lucy concluded in 1957, their marital cracks had grown impossible to conceal. The world adored Lucy and Ricky, but the real Lucille Ball was quietly disintegrating. The Red Scare nightmare. During the early 1950s, America was gripped by paranoia capable of destroying reputations overnight. Senator Joseph McCarthy's era and the Hollywood blacklist meant even the slightest communist connection could annihilate careers. For Lucille Ball, whose program dominated television, that fear suddenly crashed into her life during 1953. It began with gossip columnist Walter Winchell hinting on his radio broadcast that a famous red-headed actress had communist ties. He never specified her name, but everyone understood. The next morning, newspapers nationwide printed headlines in crimson ink: Lucille Ball named Red. Within 24 hours, America's most cherished comedian became a national suspect. The accusation traced back nearly 20 years. In 1936, Lucy had registered to vote as a Communist Party member, not from ideological conviction, but to please her grandfather, who held strong socialist beliefs. "He wanted me to register that way," she later explained, "so I did it for him." She never attended meetings, never discussed politics, and quickly forgot about it entirely. But now, amid Cold War hysteria, that long-forgotten decision threatened everything she had constructed. The timing couldn't have been worse. I Love Lucy was filming a new season, and sponsors like Philip Morris panicked. Millions of dollars hung in the balance. If audiences turned against her, the empire she and Desi had built, Desilu Studios, could collapse instantly. Lucille confronted it directly. She voluntarily met with House Un-American Activities Committee investigators, notorious for their brutal interrogations of entertainment industry figures. Calmly, she explained everything. She'd registered solely to satisfy her grandfather, never voted communist, and had nothing whatsoever to hide. "I have never been a communist," she stated firmly. "I have never participated in anything subversive throughout my entire life." While the public anticipated her downfall, Desi took action. He invited reporters to their home and addressed the audience directly before a live I Love Lucy taping. Standing center stage, he declared, "The only red thing about Lucy is her hair, and even that isn't natural." Then, surprisingly, he announced he'd spoken with FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover, who'd confirmed Lucille Ball was completely cleared of all suspicion. The audience erupted in thunderous applause.
A few years later, in 1989, Lucy gave her final television interview. Her face was thinner, her voice softer, but her humor remained sharp. When asked what she wanted to be remembered for, she paused, then said quietly, "For making people happy." The room fell silent. She smiled faintly and added, "That's all I ever wanted." It was a simple answer, carrying a lifetime's weight. Months later, she suffered a heart attack, underwent surgery, and briefly seemed to recover. But on April 26, 1989, her heart gave out. She was 77 years old. Lucille Ball's story reminds us that even the brightest stars carry shadows behind their light. Do you think the world ever gave her the recognition she truly deserved? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you love Lucy as much as we do, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and stay tuned for more untold Hollywood stories.